First contact deception. The Galactic Council's assessment team stepped through the airlock of Earth's orbital station with barely concealed disdain. Their crystalline environment suits sparkled under the station's lights as they took readings with antiquated scanning devices, a deliberate choice to avoid revealing their most advanced technology to these primitives. Admiral Sarah Chen watched them from her observation post, maintaining a carefully neutral expression. The deception was working perfectly. For 15 years, humanity had maintained the facade of being technological newcomers to the galactic stage. Every piece of primitive equipment on display had been meticulously engineered to hide its true nature. The Mizari inspector, a tall being with iridescent scales, paused at a weapons station. Crude plasma cannons, he noted in the common galactic language, barely capable of damaging modern shields. His assistant, a gelatinous creature floating in a containment field, bobbed in agreement. Sarah suppressed a smile. The plasma cannons were actually housings for quantum phase disruptors, weapons that could tear holes in the fabric of space-time itself. But the Council wasn't ready for that truth. Not yet. A warning light flashed on her neural implant. The quantum detection grid had picked up something massive emerging from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. Something that wasn't supposed to be there. "Inspector," she said smoothly, "I apologize, but we'll need to cut this tour short. We're detecting some solar fluctuations that require safety protocols." The lie came easily after years of practice. The Mizari scales shifted color in annoyance. "Typical primitive precautions. Very well. We have seen enough to confirm your species' development level." As soon as the inspection team was gone, Sarah activated her secure quantum link to Earth Command. The holographic face of Fleet Admiral Martinez appeared before her. "They're here," Martinez said without preamble. "The Void Hunters. The anomaly we detected 3 years ago wasn't a natural phenomenon. It was their scout probe. And now they've brought their fleet." Sarah felt her chest tighten. The Void Hunters were supposed to be a myth, ancient beings that traveled through tiers in spacetime, consuming entire civilizations. The reason humanity had developed quantum technology in secret. "How many ships?" she asked. "Over 3,000. And our long-range scans show they're using technology we've never seen before. They're not just traveling through spacetime tiers. They're creating them." Sarah straightened her uniform. "Then it's time, isn't it, to show the galaxy what humanity can really do?" Martinez nodded grimly. "The Council needs to know the truth. But more importantly, they need our help. Activate the quantum fleet. All of it." Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum generators hummed to life. In the asteroid belt, beneath the ice of Europa, in the clouds of Venus, humanity's real fleet began to emerge. Ships that could phase through solid matter, weapons that could rewrite the laws of physics, engines that drew power from parallel dimensions. The facade of primitive humanity was about to be shattered, and the galaxy would never be the same. The quantum edge. The Galactic Council chamber erupted in chaos as the holographic displays showed humanity's quantum fleet emerging from their hidden dimensions. Ships that seemed to bend reality itself appeared throughout the solar system, their crystalline quantum cores pulsing with impossible energy. First Speaker Vereen, her tentacles writhing in agitation, called for order. "This is an outrage. The humans have deceived us all. Their technological level violates dozens of treaties." Admiral Martinez stood calmly at the center of the chamber, his weathered face illuminated by the swirling holograms. "With all due respect, First Speaker, we never signed those treaties. We merely allowed you to make assumptions about our capabilities." The chamber's displays shifted to show the approaching Void Hunter fleet. Their ships were like tears in the fabric of reality, dark wounds in spacetime that consumed light itself. Behind them, stars were going dark. "This is why we kept our technology secret," Martinez continued. "We knew this day would come. The Void Hunters aren't just another spacefaring race. They're entropy given form. They don't want to conquer our galaxy. They want to devour it." In orbit around Mars, Commander Maya Patel watched her quantum battlecruiser's sensors track the approaching enemy. The Prometheus was humanity's most advanced warship, capable of existing in multiple dimensional states simultaneously. Her crew had trained for years in secret, preparing for this moment. All quantum cores at full power, reported her XO, David Chen. Phase shields are stable. The fleet is reporting ready. Maya nodded, her dark eyes fixed on the tactical display. The Void Hunter's ships were unlike anything they'd ever seen, even in simulations. They didn't so much fly through space as tear holes in it, creating tunnels of non-existence through which they traveled. They're launching their first wave, David announced. 500 ships on an attack vector for Earth's defense grid. Maya opened a channel to the fleet. All ships, execute formation Quantum 7. Remember your training. These beings might be able to manipulate spacetime, but so can we. The human fleet moved with impossible grace, ships phasing in and out of normal space as they took up their positions. Traditional physics meant nothing to vessels powered by quantum cores. They could ignore inertia, treat solid matter as void, and tap into the fundamental forces of reality itself. The first shots were fired not with energy weapons or missiles, but with targeted quantum disruptions. Human ships created localized bubbles where the laws of physics simply ceased to function. Void Hunter vessels, caught in these disruption fields, found their space-time tunnels collapsing. But the enemy was powerful. Their counterattack came in the form of entropy waves, expanding spheres of pure physical decay that caused matter itself to break down at the atomic level. Phase shift. Maya ordered as one such wave approached her ship. The Prometheus shifted partially out of normal spacetime, letting the entropy wave pass harmlessly through its quantum-shifted structure. In the council chamber, the alien representatives watched in stunned silence as the battle unfolded. What they had dismissed as a primitive species was fighting with technology that bordered on the mythical. "This is impossible," whispered the Mezari ambassador. "The energy readings, they're rewriting physical laws on a local level. Not even the ancients could do that." Martinez's expression remained stern. "We've had decades to prepare, to develop defenses against exactly this type of threat. But we can't win this fight alone. The Void Hunters will keep coming, keep consuming, unless we stand together." A new alert flashed across the tactical displays. The main body of the Void Hunter fleet was accelerating, their space-time tunnels growing larger. They weren't just bringing ships now. They were trying to draw the entire solar system into their dimensional rifts. Maya felt it first aboard the Prometheus, a subtle wrongness in the fabric of reality itself. All ships, full power to quantum anchors. They're trying to shift our dimensional coordinates. The battle was no longer just about ships and weapons. It was a war for the fundamental nature of reality itself. Human quantum technology clashed with the Void Hunter's entropy manipulation, creating waves of distorted spacetime that rippled across the solar system. First speaker Verine's tentacles had stopped their agitated movement. She was watching the battle with an expression that might have been awe. "The weapons we could create together," she whispered. "The defenses we could build. That's what we're offering," Martin said quietly. "An alliance, not as primitive newcomers to be patronized, but as equals, partners in defending not just this galaxy, but reality itself." The battle continued to rage, quantum effects warping space itself as humanity revealed the full extent of its technological prowess. The game of pretense was over. The only question now was whether the galaxy could unite in time to face the darkness that threatened to consume everything. Alliance and betrayal. The emergency session of the Galactic Council stretched into its third day. Holographic displays still showed the ongoing battle in the Sol system, where human quantum ships danced through reality itself to hold back the Void Hunter advance. But now, politics had taken center stage. "The humans have proven their worth," declared Ambassador Xith of the Meridian Collective, their crystalline form gleaming under the chamber's lights. "We must share our own advanced technologies with them. Together, we might stand a chance." But not everyone agreed. The hegemony representatives, insectoid beings in their environmental suits, buzzed with disapproval. They deceived us all, clicked Supreme Commander Christ. How can we trust them with even more power? For all we know, they created this crisis to force our hands. In her quarters aboard the quantum battlecruiser Prometheus, Commander Maya Patel reviewed the latest tactical data with growing concern. The Void Hunters had adapted to their quantum defenses more quickly than expected. Their entropy fields were becoming more focused, more precise. "They're learning," she muttered, just as her quantum comm chimed. A secret channel, encrypted beyond even the Council's ability to detect. The face that appeared wasn't human. It belonged to Risek, leader of the Shadowborn Conclave, a faction that officially didn't exist. "Commander Patel," the alien's dark eyes gleamed. "My associates believe this would be an ideal time to implement our contingency." Maya's expression remained neutral. The Shadowborn had approached Earth years ago, recognizing humanity's hidden potential. They had helped supply certain key technologies in exchange for future cooperation. Now they wanted payment. "The Council is still deliberating," she replied carefully. "Any aggressive action now could shatter potential alliances." "Alliances?" Risek's laugh was like grinding stones. "While they debate, the Void Hunters grow stronger. We didn't help you develop quantum technology so you could play politics." Before Maya could respond, new alarms blared. On her tactical display, she watched in horror as a third of the hegemony's fleet suddenly opened fire, not on the Void Hunters, but on human ships. Multiple impacts. Her XO shouted over the ship-wide comm. "They're using some kind of quantum disruption weapon. 3 of our ships are down." The betrayal had begun sooner than anyone expected. The hegemony, it seemed, had been developing their own quantum weapons in secret, but their technology was crude, unrefined, dangerous to both sides. Admiral Martinez's voice cut through the chaos on an emergency channel. "All ships, execute Protocol Omega." The hegemony just made their choice. Throughout the human fleet, hidden systems activated. What the hegemony didn't know was that humanity had suspected their betrayal. Every quantum disruption weapon they fired was being analyzed, its energy patterns recorded and countered. In the council chamber, the political fallout was immediate. Species chose sides, ancient alliances shattered, and new ones formed in moments. The Meridian Collective stood with humanity. The Shadowborn revealed themselves, emerging from dimensional pockets throughout the galaxy. The hegemony found itself increasingly isolated. But the Void Hunters hadn't been idle. Taking advantage of the chaos, they launched a massive assault. Their entropy fields began to combine, forming a massive wave of unreality that threatened to consume everything in its path. "All ships, battle formations," Maya ordered, pushing aside politics for survival. "Quantum cores to maximum. We need to contain that wave." Human ships moved in perfect synchronization, their quantum fields interconnecting to form a barrier of altered spacetime. Behind them, Meridian vessels added their power to the defense. Even some hegemony ships, realizing their mistake, turned to face the true enemy. The Shadowborn proved their worth, their ships emerging from hidden dimensions to strike at the Void Hunters' flanks. Technology that had been developed in secret by a dozen species was finally being used together, creating effects that defied conventional physics. In the council chamber, first speaker Vereen made her decision. "Enough. We face extinction while we fight among ourselves. By emergency powers, I hereby authorize the formation of a joint defense command. All species will share their technology or face exile from council space." The vote was quick, desperate. Opposition crumbled in the face of annihilation. What humanity had hoped to achieve through careful diplomacy was being forced by circumstance. Admiral Martinez opened a channel to all allied ships. "This is it. Everything we've prepared for. Show them what humanity can really do when we're not holding back." Maya watched as new tactical options appeared on her display. With the Council's authorization, she could now fully integrate her ship's quantum systems with alien technology. The combination created possibilities that even humanity's most optimistic scientists hadn't predicted. "All ships," she commanded, "prepare for dimensional sync. We're going to show the Void Hunters what happens when the galaxy stands united." The real battle was about to begin. But now, at least humanity didn't have to fight alone. The battle of broken stars. Space itself screamed as reality tore apart around the combined fleet. The Void Hunters had brought their full force to bear, over 10,000 ships emerging from tiers in spacetime, their entropy fields merging into a wave of uncreation that threatened to consume everything in its path. Commander Maya Patel stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, watching as alien technologies synchronized with human quantum systems. Meridian crystalline matrices interface with quantum cores, while shadowborn dimensional anchors stabilize the resulting energy flows. Even the reformed hegemony ships added their unique quantum disruption tech to the mix. "Combined fleet reading ready," reported David Chen, his hands dancing over controls that hadn't existed an hour ago. "Quantum crystal fusion drives are stable. Dimensional barriers are holding." Admiral Martinez's voice echoed through the command channel. "All ships, execute Operation Starbreak. Show them what a united galaxy can do." The human-led fleet moved as one, ships sliding between dimensions in patterns that would have been impossible for any single species technology. Meridian crystal tech amplified the quantum fields, while shadowborn ships created pocket dimensions that trapped and redirected the Void Hunters' entropy attacks. The void between stars became a battlefield unlike any in galactic history. Reality itself was a weapon, wielded by both sides with devastating effect. Where Void Hunter entropy fields met quantum crystal barriers, space itself shattered, creating cascading waves of broken physics that threatened to tear apart the fabric of the universe. Multiple breaches detected. Maya's science officer called out. "They're trying to pull entire sectors into their dimension." But humanity had planned for this. Throughout the galaxy, hidden quantum anchors activated. Technology that Earth had secretly installed over decades of pretending to be simple explorers. The anchors created a lattice of stable spacetime, preventing the Void Hunters from simply devouring chunks of reality. First speaker Varine's voice cut through the tactical chatter. "The Council's monitoring stations are detecting critical fluctuations in the spacetime continuum. If this continues, we risk a cascade failure that could unravel the galaxy itself." Maya watched as her tactical display showed the true scope of the battle. It wasn't just ships fighting ships anymore. It was a war for the fundamental nature of reality. The Void Hunters weren't just trying to destroy them. They were trying to convert this entire region of space into their entropic domain. New energy signature detected. David's voice carried a note of awe. The Void Hunters, they're combining their ships into some kind of megastructure. The enemy fleet was indeed transforming. Individual ships merged into a vast, geometric pattern that defied Euclidean geometry. It was a structure that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously, its very presence causing spacetime to decay around it. "All ships, fall back to secondary positions," Maya ordered. "Prepare for dimensional shift on my mark." The combined fleet executed a fighting retreat, using their mixed technologies in ways their designers had never imagined. Human quantum drives synchronized with meridian crystal matrices created localized bubbles of altered spacetime. Shadowborn dimensional tech allowed ships to exist partially out of phase with reality, avoiding the worst of the entropy effects. But the Void Hunters pressed their advantage. Their megastructure began to pulse with dark energy, sending out waves of unreality that threatened to unravel the quantum anchors holding normal space together. "We need a new solution," Maya muttered, studying the tactical displays. Then she saw it, a pattern in the chaos, a weakness in the enemy's dimensional engineering. Admiral Martinez, requesting permission to execute Maneuver Quantum Zero. There was a pause on the command channel. Quantum Zero was theoretical, never tested in actual combat. It would require perfect synchronization between all allied technologies, and even then, the risks were enormous. "Permission granted," Martins replied. All ships, sync to Prometheus's quantum signature. Whatever Commander Patel orders, you follow exactly. Maya took a deep breath. All ships, prepare for dimensional overlay. We're going to use their own entropy against them. The combined fleet moved into a complex geometric formation, mirroring the Void Hunter's megastructure. Human quantum cores pulsed in harmony with meridian crystals. Shadowborn ships created a web of dimensional pockets, while hegemony vessels added their disruption fields to the mix. On my mark, Maya ordered, watching as the enemy structure grew larger, its entropy field reaching out to consume them all. Now, the Allied fleet activated their combined technologies simultaneously. Instead of fighting the entropy field, they embraced it, using their quantum technology to redirect its effects back at the Void Hunters. The result was beyond anything their simulations had predicted. Space itself seemed to fold and unfold, dimensions collapsing and reforming in patterns that defied comprehension. The Void Hunter's megastructure began to warp, its perfect geometry distorted by its own entropy being reflected back at it. "It's working," David shouted. "Their structure is destabilizing." But the battle was far from over. As their megastructure began to fail, the Void Hunters launched one final desperate attack. A new order. The Void Hunters' final attack came not as a weapon, but as a choice. Their megastructure, destabilized by the combined fleet's quantum reflection, began to collapse in on itself. But instead of attempting to retreat, they tried to drag the entire sector of space with them into their entropic dimension. Multiple reality fractures detected. David's voice was tense as warnings flashed across the Prometheus's quantum sensors. They're creating a chain reaction. If it reaches critical mass, it'll tear a permanent hole in the fabric of space-time. In the council chamber, the assembled representatives watched in horror as their displays showed reality itself beginning to unravel. First Speaker Varine's tentacles moved in complex patterns as she accessed the council's most secret databases. "There is a way," she announced, her voice carrying across all command channels. "The ancients left behind technology, quantum stabilizers built into the very structure of our galaxy. We never understood how to activate them, until now." Admiral Martinez's hologram appeared in the chamber. "The stabilizers, they're what we detected all those years ago when we first developed our quantum tech. We thought they were natural phenomena. Together, Varine said, we might be able to use them, but it will require all of our combined technology and perfect synchronization across thousands of light years." Maya studied the data streaming to her tactical display. The stabilizers were massive structures, hidden in the hearts of ancient star clusters. If they could activate them all simultaneously, using the quantum tech of every species, "All ships, new formation," she ordered. "We're going to create a quantum resonance network. Every ship, every piece of tech we have, it all needs to work as one." The combined fleet moved with perfect precision, their formation shifting to create a vast geometric pattern that mirrored the ancient stabilizers. Human quantum cores sensed with meridian crystals, while shadowborn dimensional tech created bridges across vast distances. Even the reformed hegemony ships added their disruption fields to the mix, using them to cancel out harmful frequencies. "Quantum network established," David reported. "All ships reporting ready. The Void Hunter's collapse is accelerating. We have maybe 2 minutes before the reaction becomes irreversible." Maya opened a channel to all ships. "This is Commander Patel. What we do here will either save our galaxy or tear it apart. But we do it together. All ships, on my mark, activate quantum resonance patterns." The fleet's combined technology created something entirely new, a quantum field that extended across thousands of light years, touching each of the ancient stabilizers. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then space itself began to sing. The stabilizers activated one by one, each one adding its power to the network. They weren't just machines, they were nodes in a vast quantum computer designed to maintain the very fabric of reality in this part of the universe. "It's working," First Speaker Varine announced. The stabilizers are containing the collapse. The Void Hunter's megastructure writhed in dimensional space, caught between its own entropy and the stabilizing effect of the ancient technology. For a moment, reality itself seemed to hold its breath. Then, with a silent flash that rippled across quantum sensors throughout the galaxy, the Void Hunter's structure imploded. But instead of taking normal space with it, it collapsed into a self-contained quantum singularity, trapped within the stabilizer's network. All sensors reading normal, David reported, his voice filled with disbelief. The dimensional tiers are sealing themselves. We did it. In the council chamber, there was silence. Then, slowly, representatives began to rise from their seats. Species that had been enemies for millennia stood together, united by what they had just witnessed. The galaxy will never be the same. First speaker Vereen declared, "We have seen what we can accomplish when we work together, when we combine our knowledge instead of hoarding it." Admiral Martinez nodded. "That's what humanity hoped to show you, though we never imagined it would happen quite like this. We kept our quantum technology secret not out of distrust, but because we knew the galaxy wasn't ready for unity. Now perhaps it is." The next few days saw changes that would have been unthinkable before. The Galactic Council was reorganized, with humanity taking a leading role in a new Joint Technology Commission. The Shadowborn emerged fully from hiding, their dimensional knowledge adding to the growing pool of shared technology. Even the hegemony, humbled by recent events, began to open its archives. Aboard the Prometheus, Maya stood at her viewing port, watching as repair ships from a dozen species worked together to heal the scars in space-time left by the battle. "What do you think they'll remember about all this?" David asked, joining her at the window. Maya smiled slightly. "Not that humanity deceived them, I hope, but that when the moment came, we all stood together. That we proved we're stronger united than divided." In the depths of space, the ancient stabilizers continued their work, their quantum fields now maintained by the combined technology of all spacefaring species. The Void Hunter's singularity remained contained, a reminder of what they had faced and overcome together. The galaxy had changed forever, and humanity, no longer pretending to be less than they were, would help lead it into a new age of discovery and cooperation. The stars themselves seemed brighter somehow, as if reflecting the hope of a truly united galaxy. Earth's secret project. In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, the Galactic Confederation reigned supreme. Thousands of alien species, united under a banner of mutual prosperity and technological advancement, spread their influence across countless star systems. Their massive ships traversed the cosmos with ease, their weapons could shatter planets, and their cities sprawled across entire moons. And then there was Earth. To the Confederation, Earth was nothing more than a curiosity, a blue marble spinning in an unremarkable solar system, inhabited by a species that had barely taken its first steps into space. Humanity's achievements, from the first lunar landing to the establishment of a small Martian colony, were seen as quaint by galactic standards. The Confederation's anthropologists studied Earth from afar, occasionally sending stealth probes to observe humanity's slow crawl towards the stars. But appearances can be deceiving. Deep beneath the surface of humanity's homeworld, in sprawling underground complexes and hidden orbital facilities, Earth was keeping secrets. Secrets that— "Then we have no choice," Amelia said, her voice filled with determination. "We need to accelerate the timeline. Project Prometheus isn't just an experiment anymore. It's our best hope for survival." As the meeting adjourned, the chamber buzzed with renewed urgency. Scientists and engineers hurried to their stations, knowing that the fate of humanity now rested on their shoulders. In the weeks that followed, Earth's hidden industrial might was brought to bear. Automated factories, powered by zero-point reactors, worked around the clock. Quantum computers crunched impossible equations, optimizing every aspect of the Prometheus design. Meanwhile, on the surface, life continued as normal. People went about their daily lives, blissfully unaware of the monumental events unfolding beneath their feet. News channels debated the latest political scandals, while social media buzzed with celebrity gossip and viral trends. But in the corridors of power, preparations were being made. World leaders were quietly briefed on the situation, and plans were put in motion to gradually reveal the truth to the public. 6 months into the accelerated timeline, Amelia stood on an observation deck, watching as the skeletal frame of the Prometheus took shape in a massive underground hangar. The ship was larger than she had initially envisioned, nearly a kilometer in length, with sweeping lines that seemed to defy conventional aerospace engineering. "It's beautiful," Rajiv said, joining her at the window. Amelia nodded. "And terrifying. Do you ever wonder if we're doing the right thing, keeping all of this secret?" Rajiv was quiet for a moment before responding. "I think about it every day. But then I remember what's at stake. If the Confederation knew what we were capable of, they might decide to eliminate us before we become a threat." "And if it's not the Confederation out there?" Amelia asked, gesturing vaguely upward. "What if it's something worse?" "Then we'll be ready," Rajiv said with conviction. "Humanity has always risen to the challenge. This is no different." As they watched, a section of the Prometheus's hull was lowered into place. The material, a metamaterial with properties that seemed to violate the laws of physics, shimmered as it bonded molecularly with the surrounding structure. Elsewhere in the facility, weapons systems were being tested. Beams of concentrated zero-point energy lashed out in controlled bursts, capable of puncturing holes in reality itself. Shields flickered to life, bending light and energy around them in ways that made them nearly impervious to known forms of attack. But it wasn't just the ship that was taking shape. A new generation of pilots and crew were being trained in secret facilities around the world. They learned to operate technology that was generations beyond anything publicly available, preparing for a future where humanity would stand toe-to-toe with the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. As the months wore on, tension mounted. The unidentified objects continued their approach, their nature still a mystery. Speculation ran wild among those in the know. Were they Confederation ships on a routine patrol, a previously unknown alien species, or something else entirely? With 6 months left before the estimated arrival, Project Prometheus entered its final stages. The ship was complete, its systems undergoing rigorous testing. In simulations, it outperformed even the most optimistic projections. It was during one of these test runs that alarms began blaring throughout the facility. Amelia rushed to the control room, her heart pounding. "What's happening?" she demanded as she burst through the doors. General Hayes was already there, her face grim. "They're here. The unknown contacts just appeared in orbit around Mars. They've completely bypassed our outer system defenses." Amelia felt the blood drain from her face. "How? Our sensors should have detected any conventional approach." "Conventional being the key word," Rajiv said, pulling up a sensor readout. "These ships, they're using technology similar to Prometheus. They didn't fly here, they just appeared." On the main screen, grainy images from Mars orbital satellites showed massive ships unlike anything they had ever seen. They were organic in appearance, with surfaces that seemed to ripple and shift like living tissue. "Are they Confederation?" someone asked. General Hayes shook her head. "Negative. We're not detecting any known Confederation signatures. Whatever these are, there's something new." As they watched, one of the alien ships fired a beam of energy at a Martian defense satellite. The satellite didn't explode. It simply ceased to exist, leaving not even debris behind. "My God," Amelia whispered. "What do we do?" General Hayes straightened, her voice filled with steel. "We do what we've been preparing for. We fight." She turned to the room at large. "Initiate Operation Awakening. It's time to show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of." Klaxons sounded throughout the underground complex as the order was given. Blast doors opened, revealing the Prometheus in all its glory. Crew members rushed to their stations as the ship hummed to life, its revolutionary systems coming online for the first time outside of simulations. As the Prometheus prepared to launch, broadcasts went out to every corner of the globe. The veil of secrecy was finally lifted as world leaders addressed their nations, revealing the truth about humanity's hidden advancements and the threat that now loomed over them. Amelia watched as the Prometheus rose from its underground berth, its hull shimmering as adaptive camouflage rendered it nearly invisible. As the ship accelerated towards the upper atmosphere, she felt a mix of pride, fear, and anticipation. Humanity had kept its light hidden under a bushel for so long. Now it was time to shine. The Prometheus streaked across the sky, leaving a trail of shimmering distortions in its wake. In orbit, other secret projects were revealed, space stations armed with weaponry that could rival small stars, swarms of autonomous drones with artificial intelligence, far beyond anything publicly known. As Earth's defenders took up position, the unknown alien ships changed course. Whether drawn by the sudden burst of activity or alerted by some unknown means, they were now on an intercept course with Earth. The first battle for humanity's future was about to begin. And thanks to Project Prometheus, it would be a fair fight. First contact and deception. The Prometheus hung in low Earth orbit, a testament to human ingenuity and determination. Its sleek hull reflected the blue and green of the planet below, while its advanced stealth systems rendered it nearly invisible to conventional sensors. Inside the ship's command center, Captain Elena Rodriguez took a deep breath, steadying herself for what was to come. "Status report," she ordered, her voice calm despite the tension that filled the air. "All systems nominal, Captain," her XO, Commander David Chen, reported. "Weapons are hot. Shields are at maximum. We're as ready as we'll ever be." Elena nodded, her eyes fixed on the main view screen. It showed a real-time image of the approaching alien vessels, their organic-looking hulls rippling in ways that defied conventional physics. They were beautiful, in a terrifying sort of way. "Open a channel," Elena said. "All frequencies, all languages we know. Let's see if they're willing to talk." As the communications officer worked to establish contact, Elena couldn't help but reflect on the bizarre turn of events that had led to this moment. Just days ago, she had been commanding a primitive Earth shuttle, maintaining the pretense of humanity's technological backwardness for the benefit of any watching alien eyes. Now she was at the helm of the most advanced ship in human history, about to make first contact with an unknown species. The view screen flickered, and suddenly they were face to face with the alien commander. The being before them was unlike anything they had ever seen. Vaguely humanoid, but with iridescent skin that seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal. Its eyes, if they could be called that, were swirling vortexes of color. "This is Captain Elena Rodriguez of the Earth ship Prometheus," Elena said, her voice steady. "We come in peace and wish to establish diplomatic relations." There was a moment of silence as the ship's advanced translation systems worked to decipher the alien's response. When it came, the voice was oddly melodic, with undertones that seemed to resonate on a subconscious level. "We are the Axiom," the alien said. "Your presence, unexpected. Your ship, impossible." Elena had exchanged a glance with Commander Chen. The Axiom's surprise was evident. Clearly, they had not expected to encounter a species with technology that could rival their own. "We have kept our true capabilities hidden," Elena explained, choosing her words carefully. "We mean you no harm, but we are prepared to defend ourselves if necessary." The Axiom commander seemed to consider this for a moment, its form rippling in what might have been the alien equivalent of a thoughtful expression. "Deception. Interesting," it said finally. "We will converse. Prepare for arrival." The transmission cut off abruptly, leaving the bridge crew of the Prometheus in stunned silence. "Arrival?" Commander Chen asked, voicing the question on everyone's mind. "What does that mean?" They didn't have to wait long for an answer. Moments later, alarms blared as the ship's sensors detected a massive energy surge. A swirling vortex of light appeared in the middle of the bridge, and from it stepped the Axiom commander, along with two other beings of its species. First contact and deception. The Prometheus hung in low Earth orbit, a testament to human ingenuity and determination. Its sleek hull reflected the blue and green of the planet below, while its advanced stealth systems rendered it nearly invisible to conventional sensors. Inside the ship's command center, Captain Elena Rodriguez took a deep breath, steadying herself for what was to come. "Status report," she ordered, her voice calm despite the tension that filled the air. "All systems nominal, Captain," her XO, Commander David Chen, reported. "Weapons are hot, shields are at maximum. We're as ready as we'll ever be." Elena nodded, her eyes fixed on the main view screen. It showed a real-time image of the approaching alien vessels, their organic-looking hulls rippling in ways that defied conventional physics. They were beautiful, in a terrifying sort of way. "Open a channel," Elena said. "All frequencies, all languages we know. Let's see if they're willing to talk." As the communications officer worked to establish contact, Elena couldn't help but reflect on the bizarre turn of events that had led to this moment. Just days ago, she had been commanding a primitive Earth shuttle, maintaining the pretense of humanity's technological backwardness for the benefit of any watching alien eyes. Now she was at the helm of the most advanced ship in human history, about to make first contact with an unknown species. The view screen flickered, and suddenly they were face to face with the alien commander. The being before them was unlike anything they had ever seen. Vaguely humanoid, but with iridescent skin that seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal. Its eyes, if they could be called that, were swirling vortexes of color. "This is Captain Elena Rodriguez of the Earth ship Prometheus," Elena said, her voice steady. "We come in peace and wish to establish diplomatic relations." There was a moment of silence as the ship's advanced translation systems worked to decipher the alien's response. When it came, the voice was oddly melodic, with undertones that seemed to resonate on a subconscious level. "We are the Axiom," the alien said. "Your presence, unexpected. Your ship, impossible." Elena exchanged a glance with Commander Chen. The Axiom's surprise was evident. Clearly, they had not expected to encounter a species with technology that could rival their own. "We have kept our true capabilities hidden," Elena explained, choosing her words carefully. "We mean you no harm, but we are prepared to defend ourselves if necessary." The Axiom commander seemed to consider this for a moment, its form rippling in what might have been the alien equivalent of a thoughtful expression. "Deception. Interesting," it said finally. "We will converse. Prepare for arrival." The transmission cut off abruptly, leaving the bridge crew of the Prometheus in stunned silence. "Arrival?" Commander Chen asked, voicing the question on everyone's mind. "What does that mean?" They didn't have to wait long for an answer. Moments later, alarms blared as the ship's sensors detected a massive energy surge. A swirling vortex of light appeared in the middle of the bridge, and from it stepped the Axiom commander, along with two other beings of its species. Elena's hand instinctively went to her sidearm, but she stopped herself. This was not the time for hostilities. "Welcome aboard the Prometheus," she said, forcing a smile. "Though we usually prefer a bit more notice before receiving guests." Elena and her crew answered as best they could, walking a fine line between openness and caution. They showcased some of the Prometheus's capabilities, its advanced propulsion systems, its energy weapons, its reality warping shields, but always held something back, always left some mystery unexplained. It was a dance of diplomacy and deception, with the fate of Earth hanging in the balance. As the meeting drew to a close, the Axiom commander fixed Elena with its swirling gaze. "Your species, interesting. Future, uncertain. We will watch, with great interest." With those cryptic words, the Axiom delegation vanished in another swirl of energy, leaving the bridge crew of the Prometheus to ponder the implications of this first contact. Elena slumped into her captain's chair, feeling the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. They had survived this initial encounter, had perhaps even made a tentative ally. But she knew this was only the beginning. "Send a coded transmission to Earth Command," she ordered. Tell them that the galaxy is a lot more complicated than we thought." As the Prometheus maintained its vigil in Earth orbit, Alina couldn't help but feel that they had just taken their first real steps onto the galactic stage. The deception they had maintained for so long, hiding their true capabilities from prying alien eyes, had served its purpose. Now, it was time for humanity to show the galaxy what they were truly capable of. But as she looked out at the stars, Alina wondered, were they ready for what came next? The Axiom's warnings echoed in her mind. The galaxy was not always kind to young races, especially those who advanced quickly. The journey to Proxima Centauri, a distance of about 4.2 light-years, would have taken years using conventional propulsion. But with the Prometheus's revolutionary spacetime manipulation drive, they covered the distance in a matter of hours. As they dropped out of FTL near their destination, alarms immediately began to blare. "Multiple contacts," the sensor officer shouted. 3. No, 4 ships. Configuration unknown. Alina leaned forward in her chair, her heart racing. On screen, the main view screen flickered to life, showing 4 sleek vessels arrayed in an attack formation. They were clearly of advanced design, their hulls gleaming with an almost predatory sheen. "They're hailing us," the communications officer reported. Alina took a deep breath. On screen, the alien that appeared was vaguely insectoid, with compound eyes and mandibles that clicked as it spoke. Its voice, translated by the ship's computers, was cold and imperious. "Unidentified vessel, you have entered restricted space. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded. Resistance will be met with lethal force." Alina exchanged a glance with Commander Chen. This was not how they had expected their mission to begin. "This is Captain Alina Rodriguez of the Earth ship Prometheus," she responded, keeping her voice steady. "We were unaware this system was restricted. We come in peace, on a mission of exploration and colonization." The alien's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sound that the translation software interpreted as laughter. "Earth, the primitive world. Your deception is as pathetic as it is transparent. That vessel you command is far beyond your species' known capabilities. You will surrender it to us immediately." Alina's mind raced. These aliens, whoever they were, clearly hadn't received the memo about Earth's technological leap. More worryingly, they seemed to view the Proxima Centauri system as their territory. The situation was rapidly spiraling out of control. "I assure you, this ship is of Earth manufacture," Alina said, trying to buy time. "There has been no deception. If we have trespassed, we apologize and will withdraw immediately." The alien's compound eyes seemed to glitter with malice. "You had your chance to surrender peacefully. Now we will take your ship by force. It will make a fine addition to our fleet." The transmission cut off abruptly. Moments later, the enemy ships opened fire. "Evasive maneuvers," Alina shouted. "Shields to maximum." The Prometheus lurched as it dodged the incoming fire, its advanced inertial dampeners barely keeping the crew from being thrown from their seats. Energy beams lanced through space, some splashing harmlessly against their shields, others missing by mere meters. "Return fire," Alina ordered. "Target their weapons systems. I want to disable, not destroy." The Prometheus's weapons officer complied, unleashing a barrage of concentrated zero-point energy beams. The effect was immediate and devastating. 2 of the enemy ships spun out of control, their weapons systems reduced to molten slag. The other 2 broke formation, clearly taken aback by the power of the Prometheus's attack. "They're retreating," Commander Chen reported, a note of relief in his voice. But Alina knew it wasn't over. "Maintain battle stations, and get me Earth Command. They need to know what's happening out here." As the Prometheus held position, its sensors sweeping for any sign of reinforcements, Alina briefed Earth Command on the situation. The response was swift and unequivocal. Hold the system at all costs. Proxima Centauri was to be humanity's foothold in the stars, and they would not give it up without a fight. Over the next few days, a tense standoff ensued. More alien ships arrived, taking up positions around the system's outer planets. The Prometheus, despite being outnumbered, held its ground. Its superior technology kept the aliens at bay, but Alina knew they couldn't maintain this stalemate forever. It was on the fifth day that everything changed. As Alina was reviewing sensor data in her ready room, an alarm blared. She rushed to the bridge, her heart pounding. "Report," she demanded as she entered. Massive energy spike detected. The science officer responded, his voice tight with tension. It's like nothing we've ever seen before." On the main view screen, a colossal ship materialized out of nowhere. It dwarfed the Prometheus, its hull adorned with symbols of power and authority. Alina felt a chill run down her spine as she realized what they were facing. This was no mere pirate or local warlord. This was a capital ship of the Galactic Confederation. A transmission came through, and a stern-faced alien appeared on screen. Unlike the insectoid beings they had faced earlier, this one appeared almost human, save for its silvery skin and entirely black eyes. "I am High Admiral Zorax of the Galactic Confederation," the alien said, its voice resonating with authority. "Your presence here has caused quite a stir, humans. It seems you've been keeping secrets from us." Alina straightened her uniform, acutely aware that she was about to engage in the most important diplomatic exchange of her life, perhaps in all of human history. "Admiral Zorax," she said, bowing her head slightly in respect. "I am Captain Alina Rodriguez of the Earth ship Prometheus. We apologize for any disturbance we may have caused. Our intention was merely to establish a scientific outpost in this system." Zorax's black eyes seemed to bore into her. "A scientific outpost? With a ship that can outfight an entire attack squadron? Do not insult my intelligence, Captain. Your ship's capabilities are far beyond what your species should possess. Explain yourselves." Alina took a deep breath. This was the moment of truth. Earth's deception was over. It was time to step onto the galactic stage in earnest. "Admiral," she began, "humanity has indeed kept its true capabilities hidden. We did so out of caution, unsure of our place in the galaxy. But we are hiding no longer. We come in peace, seeking to join the galactic community as equals." Zorax was silent for a long moment, his alien features unreadable. When he spoke again, his voice was filled with a mixture of curiosity and wariness. "Your actions have upset the balance of power in this sector, Captain Rodriguez. The Confederation cannot ignore this. You will power down your vessel and prepare to be boarded. We have much to discuss." As the transmission ended, Alina turned to her crew. She saw fear in their eyes, but also determination. They had trained for this, prepared for this moment for years. Now, it was time to show the galaxy what humanity was truly made of. "Maintain shield strength," she ordered. "But lower our weapons. We'll play nice. For now." As the massive Confederation ship loomed ever closer, Alina couldn't help but feel that this was a turning point not just for the Prometheus, but for all of humanity. The secrets were out, the die was cast. Whatever happened next would shape the future of Earth's place in the cosmos. The incident at Proxima Centauri had begun as a simple colonization mission. Now, it had become the crucible in which humanity's galactic future would be forged. Galactic repercussions. The Prometheus hung in space, dwarfed by the massive Confederation vessel. Captain Alina Rodriguez stood on the bridge, her posture rigid, as she watched the approaching shuttle. This was it, the moment that would determine humanity's fate in the galactic community. As the Confederation delegation boarded, led by High Admiral Zorax himself, Alina couldn't help but marvel at the diversity of alien life. Alongside the silver-skinned, black-eyed admiral were representatives from at least a dozen different species, each more exotic than the last. "Welcome aboard the Prometheus," Alina said, bowing slightly. We are honored by your presence." Zorax's obsidian eyes scanned the bridge, taking in the advanced technology with poorly concealed interest. "Your hospitality is noted, Captain. Now, perhaps you can explain how a supposedly primitive species came to possess technology that rivals our own." Over the next few hours, Alina and her crew gave the Confederation delegation a carefully curated tour of the Prometheus. They revealed enough to impress, but held back the most sensitive secrets. It was a delicate balance, demonstrating their capabilities without appearing too threatening. As they stood in the ship's engine room, bathed in the ethereal glow of the zero-point energy reactor, Zorax finally broke his stoic demeanor. "Remarkable," he murmured. "Truly remarkable. You realize, of course, that this changes everything." Helena nodded solemnly. "We understood that our emergence would cause disruptions, but surely the galaxy is big enough for humanity to take its place alongside other advanced civilizations." Zorax's laughter was without humor. "You naive child. Do you have any idea of the political firestorm you've ignited? The balance of power that's been maintained for millennia?" Before Elena could respond, alarms blared throughout the ship. Commander Chen's voice came over the comm. "Captain, to the bridge, immediately." Rushing back to the command center, Helena was confronted with a sight that made her blood run cold. The main view screen showed dozens, no, hundreds, of ships dropping out of FTL around Proxima Centauri. "Status report," she barked. "Multiple fleets detected," the sensor officer reported, his voice tight with tension. "We're reading Confederation ships, but also others. Unknown configurations. They're taking up attack positions." Zorax stepped forward, his silver face creased with worry. "It's as I feared. News of your technology has spread faster than we anticipated. Every major power in the sector is here, vying for control." Elena's mind raced. This was rapidly spiraling out of control. "We need to contact Earth," she said. "Warn them." Her words were cut off as the ship rocked violently. "We're under attack." Commander Chen shouted. "Multiple incoming." The rest of his sentence was lost in a cacophony of explosions and alarms. The Prometheus's shields flared brilliantly as they absorbed the brunt of the assault, but Elena knew they couldn't hold out forever against this kind of firepower. "Evasive maneuvers," she ordered. "Get us out of here." As the Prometheus twisted and turned, narrowly avoiding the onslaught, Elena turned to Zorax. "Admiral, you need to call off your forces. This is madness." Zorax's black eyes reflected the chaos on the view screen. "These are not my forces, Captain. The Confederation is but one player in this game now. Your emergence has upset the balance, and now everyone wants a piece of your technology." Realization dawned on Elena. This wasn't just about humanity anymore. They had inadvertently triggered a galactic arms race, with Earth and its technology as the prize. As the battle raged around them, Elena made a decision that would alter the course of human history. "Open a channel," she commanded, "to all ships in the system." The communications officer complied, and Elena took a deep breath before speaking. "This is Captain Elena Rodriguez of the Earth ship Prometheus. Cease fire immediately, or we will be forced to demonstrate the full extent of our capabilities." For a moment, the attack seemed to falter. Then, as if in response, a new volley of weapons fire converged on the Prometheus. Elena's eyes hardened. "You were warned," she said quietly. Then, to her weapons officer, "Activate the Horizon Protocol." The officer's eyes widened. "Captain, that's untested." "Do it." A low hum built throughout the ship as power was diverted to a system that had only existed in theoretical simulations until now. On the view screen, space itself seemed to ripple and distort around the Prometheus. Suddenly, every attacking ship within a certain radius simply vanished. No explosion, no debris, just gone, as if they had never existed. A stunned silence fell over the bridge. Even Zorax seemed at a loss for words. What did you do?" he finally managed to ask. Alina's voice was steady, but there was a tremor of awe and fear beneath her words. We created a localized bubble of altered space-time. Those ships haven't been destroyed. They've been shunted into a parallel dimension. They'll reappear in a few hours, unharmed, but hopefully chastened. The remaining ships in the system quickly backed off, clearly unwilling to risk the same fate. But Alina knew this was only the beginning. The cat was out of the bag now. The galaxy knew what humanity was capable of. As the immediate crisis subsided, Alina turned to Zorax. "Admiral, I think it's time we had a real discussion about humanity's place in the galaxy." Zorax nodded slowly, his black eyes unreadable. "Indeed, Captain. But not here. This incident will have repercussions that echo across the cosmos. We must convene the Galactic Council immediately." As preparations were made for their journey to the heart of Confederation space, Alina couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and trepidation. Humanity had emerged onto the galactic stage in a way no one could have predicted. They had showcased power that made even the most advanced civilizations take notice. But with that power came responsibility and danger. The incident at Proxima Centauri had escalated from a simple colonization attempt to a full-scale galactic crisis. Now, humanity would have to navigate the treacherous waters of interstellar politics, where one wrong move could lead to war on a scale they had never imagined. As the Prometheus prepared to depart for the Galactic Council, escorted by a wary Confederation fleet, Alina gazed out at the stars. They seemed colder now, more distant. The universe had suddenly become a much larger, much more complicated place. "Send a message to Earth Command," she told Commander Chen. Tell them everything. And tell them to prepare. The galaxy now knows we're here, and they'll be coming for us, for better or for worse." As the ship accelerated away from Proxima Centauri, leaving behind a system forever changed by their presence, Alina couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. Humanity had stepped out of the shadows and into the light of a vast, ancient, and often hostile galaxy. The real challenge was just beginning. Humanity's ascension. The journey to the heart of Confederation space was tense. The Prometheus, escorted by a fleet of wary Confederation ships, traveled through star systems that humans had only dreamed of visiting. Captain Alina Rodriguez spent much of the trip in deep discussion with High Admiral Zorax, learning more about the complex political landscape they were about to enter. "The Galactic Council," Zorax explained, his black eyes reflecting the starlight, "is not just a governing body. It's a delicate balance of power, millennia in the making. Your arrival has upset that balance in ways we're only beginning to understand." Alina nodded, the weight of responsibility heavy on her shoulders. "We never intended to cause such disruption. We only wanted to protect ourselves, to secure our place in the stars." Zorax's silver lips curled in what might have been a smile. "Intentions matter little in galactic politics, Captain. It's actions and consequences that shape the course of history, and your actions have certainly shaped ours." As they approached the Confederation capital world, Alina gasped. The planet was encircled by massive orbital structures, each one a city in its own right. Ships of all sizes and configurations swarmed around them like bees around a hive. "Welcome," Zorax said, a hint of pride in his voice, "to Axiom Prime." The irony of the name wasn't lost on Alina, reminding her of their first alien encounter. As the Prometheus docked with the central station, she steeled herself for what was to come. The Galactic Council chamber was a vast amphitheater, filled with representatives from hundreds of species. Some were humanoid, others defied easy description. All eyes turned to Alina as she entered, escorted by Zorax and her senior staff. A hush fell over the assembly as Alina took her place at the center of the chamber. She could feel the weight of countless alien gazes upon her, some curious, others hostile. An elderly alien with translucent skin and glowing internal organs floated forward. "I am Grand Arbiter Atile 4, it announced, its voice resonating telepathically in Alina's mind. This emergency session of the Galactic Council is now in session. Captain Elena Rodriguez of Earth, you stand before us to answer for your species' actions and to determine humanity's place in the galactic order. Over the next several hours, Elena presented humanity's case. She spoke of Earth's long isolation, its fears and hopes. She detailed their technological advancements, carefully omitting the most sensitive information. Throughout it all, she emphasized humanity's desire for peaceful coexistence and mutual prosperity. The Council's response was mixed. Some members were intrigued by humanity's potential, seeing opportunities for trade and cultural exchange. Others were wary, viewing Earth as a potential threat to the established order. Your technology, one avian counselor squawked, is too advanced for a species so young. How can we trust that you won't use it aggressively? Elena took a deep breath before responding. With respect, Counselor, the incident at Proxima Centauri proved that we're capable of defending ourselves without resorting to unnecessary violence. We seek to join the galactic community as equals, not conquerors. The debate raged on, with various factions arguing for everything from immediate acceptance of Earth into the Confederation to quarantine of the entire Sol system. As the session stretched into its second day, a new voice cut through the clamor. Perhaps, it said, we are approaching this from the wrong angle. All eyes turned to the speaker, a being composed entirely of shimmering energy. Elena recognized it immediately. An axiom, the same species they had first encountered near Earth. Humanity, the axiom continued, its form pulsing with each word, has demonstrated not just technological prowess, but adaptability and restraint. In the face of overwhelming odds at Proxima Centauri, they chose to incapacitate rather than destroy. This is not the action of a warmongering species. Murmurs rippled through the chamber as the axiom floated towards Elena. We propose a compromise. Earth will not be subjugated, nor will it be given free rein. Instead, we offer mentorship. The axiom will guide humanity's integration into the galactic community, ensuring their technology is used responsibly while allowing them to maintain their independence. The proposal sent shockwaves through the assembly. The axiom, known for their neutrality and advanced philosophy, rarely involved themselves so directly in galactic affairs. Grand Arbiter Xylthor's internal organs pulsed rapidly as it considered the proposal. This is unprecedented, it said finally. But these are unprecedented times. We will put it to a vote. The next few hours were a blur of political maneuvering and tense negotiations. Elena found herself in deep discussions with representatives from dozens of species, answering questions and addressing concerns. Finally, Grand Arbiter Xylthor called for order. The Council has reached a decision, it announced. By a narrow margin, we accept the axiom's proposal. Earth will be granted provisional membership in the Galactic Confederation, under the mentorship of the axiom. Elena felt a wave of relief wash over her. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. A chance for humanity to prove itself on the galactic stage. As the council session adjourned, Elena found herself face to face with the axiom representative. Its energy form shimmered with what seemed like amusement. Your species, it said, its voice resonating in Elena's mind, continues to fascinate us. We look forward to working together. Elena nodded, a smile tugging at her lips. As do we. Though I have to ask, why us? Why take such an interest in humanity? The axiom's form pulsed softly. Because, Captain Rodriguez, in all our travels throughout the cosmos, we have rarely encountered a species with such potential. Your technology, impressive as it is not what truly sets you apart. It is your spirit, your curiosity, your adaptability, your capacity for both logic and emotion. In you, we see echoes of what we once were, and perhaps what we might become again. As Elena prepared to return to the Prometheus, her mind raced with the implications of all that had transpired. Humanity had not just revealed itself to the galaxy, it had reshaped the very nature of galactic politics. Back on the bridge of her ship, Alina addressed her crew. "We've been given an opportunity," she said, her voice firm. "An opportunity to shape not just our future, but the future of the entire galaxy. It won't be easy. There will be those who fear us, those who envy us, and those who will seek to control us. But we've proven that humanity can rise to any challenge." As the Prometheus disengaged from the station, preparing for the journey home, Alina gazed out at the star-filled expanse before them. The galaxy no longer seemed cold and distant. It was alive with possibility. "Set a course for Earth," she commanded. "It's time to tell our people that we are not alone, and that our greatest adventure is just beginning." The Prometheus leaped into FTL, streaking across the cosmos. As they traveled, Alina reflected on how far they had come. From a species hiding its true potential to one poised to become a major player in galactic affairs. The road ahead would be challenging, filled with diplomatic pitfalls and potential conflicts. But Alina felt a sense of optimism she hadn't experienced since this journey began. Humanity had ascended. They had faced the crucible of first contact, weathered the storm of galactic politics, and emerged stronger for it. With the Axiom as their mentors and the resources of the Confederation at their disposal, the potential for growth and discovery was limitless. As the familiar blue marble of Earth came into view, Alina smiled. They had left their home as explorers venturing into the unknown. They returned as citizens of a vast, complex, and wondrous galactic community. The next chapter of human history was about to begin. And this time, they would write it among the stars.